Hello everybody and welcome to our brand new Two Red Robins collection, and this is just, well, what can I say? Wow. So this is the education, okay? So education for our Fisherman's Wharf. Now there's quite a few dies going on here. We have got some colourful characters as always, which are fabulous, and we've got some incredible downloads for your scenes as well. Or is it you? Yeah, we've got some scenes backing papers, whichever way you like to call them. So let's start here. Now with Two Red Robins, I always like to say that we have like a formula within our collections. We give you the lovely animals, but we also give you those builder pieces, like your grounding elements. But look what we've got here. Isn't this wonderful? Now wait, I'm going to cut into this. This is lovely to cut into and decoupage and layer up. And I've got the boards with me to go through and show you how that can be done. And we'll do that throughout the actual education. This is lovely. Look at how realistic this looks. It's flat. It's a flat piece of paper. Cardstock, should I say. So we've got these lovely old tyres. Now, whenever you go to anywhere where there's a fishing village and they're bringing in the boats, they've always got tyres like this to stop the actual boats hitting the side. So this is our wharf. This is the little bit, but it's a bit rickety, isn't it? It's seen better days, really. But this is how we like to see it in nature. You've got a little bit of those, you know, the sea urchins on the side as well. So there's a lot going on just on that one piece. And we've got it in the 3 sizes. Fabulous. The next one, look at this walkway. Now this walkway has seen better days, hasn't it? But how incredible is it? Now the versatility of this is immense because each one of these is a plank. You cut that out and snip into this. Every little element is going to be something different that you can use within your projects and build something else. But the snippability, the movability, and I'll explain that in a second on one of the boards, is wonderful because of how many lines we've got in this. So yeah, there's a lot going on again. So that's only die number 2. Die number 3. Oh, look at this. I love this boat. Now, it has seats, it's a little bit tired, but this is how they look, aren't they? When they go to the fishing village, these are working, you know, they go out there and do all the fishing. These are working vessels. They're not like that you hire and go on. This is a proper working boat. You can see all the tarnished woodwork and everything on here. Again, fabulous. But the snippability again, and to be able to decoupage this up is wonderful. Loads of different sizes. So it doesn't matter what kind of project you're making, you're going to have the ability to add in that definition, that depth. So you're going to have the background, the foreground and the midground. And again, it's what Two Red Robins are famous for, isn't it? Giving you all of that versatility. Then, aren't these fabulous? I love this. We've got our wooden oars for our boat. Not this particular one, but there are boats in the backing papers that you could actually use these for. We've got our lovely, look at these crates. We've got the rope handles, got a little bit of cloth that's hanging out the top, a lobster pot, or you know what this could possibly be. It could be a lantern if you wanted it to. This, to snip this into this and break it down into other elements, fabulous. This, everybody's got to have one of these, haven't they? One of the life buoys. And again, depending on how you orientate this, it's been very cleverly done as to what it looks like, because if you laid that like that, it looks like it's flat. You turn it on its side, it gives you a different perspective. Obviously, we've got to have the Fisherman's welly boots every day. So that is a lovely, and this is going to be fabulous with lots of others. So think about water dam, etc. that you've already got. And the other ones with the little Labradors, dogs, this would again work beautifully with that. Now, these are our little turns and our posts. This is a need. You need these with something like this, and for your other Two Red Robins, these are a need. Just popping him on the top of there every day of the week is going to look amazing. But think about laying these in different ways, building a stack of logs at the side of a building. Lots, again, usability in this. And then we have our Pete. Isn't he just adorable? I love him. His colourway and everything. Just look at him. Oh, Pete the Pelican. Love him. But again, versatility. There's lots of snippability in this to build him up and make him very 3D. And look at our naughty seagulls. Look at this trio. Again, love the fact that we've given you 3 different ones. They've all got different facial expressions, and so these are super characters to add into other projects, as well as being one of the main features within the actual project that we're building. But they're all doing something. He's been a bit inquisitive. He's going, really? You're going to do that? Or he's thinking, I'm going to have that fish. And look at him, he's just been noisy seagull. So you can actually hear him as you're looking at him, you know what his sound he's making. But look, isn't he just, when they say man's best friend and they talk about the dogs, he is absolutely that character, isn't he? He's just adorable. And again, even though he's solid, we can still snip into him. And then on top of that, we've got the fishing rod with him as well. So it could be laid against him at his feet. He could have it in his little mouth holding it for you. So lots of ways of using it. So that is the collection. Let's show you what we can actually do with this. So this is one of them. We've got backgrounds, and I'll go through the backgrounds when I'm actually building and going through the workshop. Look at these. Fabulous little cottages, and you've seen these if you've been on holiday anywhere around the British Isles, anywhere like this. You've seen these even on the television. They look for places like this for film sets, don't they? Look here, we have our turns. Those posts are fabulous, but look, I've pinched those pots off of the other piece, snipped into them, and I've tucked them in and used them somewhere else. Our Pete, I've 3D'd all his feathers up so he stands out lovely and proud. Having the different sizes of this adds in that definition and depth to the project and really gives you that versatility. But him on his own, isn't he lovely? Just on a little card like that. Fabulous. Then we've got the scene. Again, you can be fussy about where you're using these as well. So you could cut them down, but we've already done some of that for you. So that's coming up. Again, the orientation of this life buoy, amazing. The walkway. Now, what I was saying about movement of the walkway, I've actually folded it here. And we've got our lovely seagulls. So this trio, naughty boys that are on here. And we've put in the oars. So it just comes together and makes beautiful pieces. I want to just turn it on its side. I don't know if you're going to get all of that. I've actually folded into this to make it as if it's a step, as if it's collapsed. So I'm just see if we're getting there. Let's see. Look, it's an actual step. Because of what I was saying about the cut lines and how much we've got on here, we can really see that I've actually made it as if it's a step that you're coming down. So this is not just a walkway, it's a set of ladders as well as a step as well. Fabulous. So that is the first way we can actually use it with one of the backgrounds. Then we're going on to something a little bit more idyllic, maybe. So we've got the scene set in the background with the lovely cottages up on the hillside. Maybe we're over in Switzerland or somewhere now with this little Finnish fishing village. We have our boat. Now again, decoupaged up, really easy. You've got some fabulous easy snip lines to be able to do that. We've got those posts. From the first one, I've just laid them all down and build up a plank system. Again, we've got the wharf with the tyres. We've got the ring and the boat. We've got the fishing in the background. We've got our little turn is still here. Those pots again, where I've snipped them away and used them somewhere else, I've decoupaged up. But look at him. Isn't he adorable? He's sat there waiting. He's either waiting for the boat to come round so he can get on, or he's just been dropped off and that's going away to be parked up or whatever they do. Do they dock them? They dock a boat, don't they? Of course they do. Then, all about the actual backing papers, the scenes, really make this come to life. So now we've got the dock size, the wharf, what you can walk through, but we've got it here. So this isn't necessarily a wharf that we're going to come into. This is broken. You know, like you see where there's just one broken stave in the middle of the water, out in a dock, in the riverbank. That's what's happened here. It's collapsed, it's broken down, and there's just a little piece of it left. Again, because we've got those different boat sizes, we've been able to bring it back in. Here's our Pete the pelican. And again, we've got that lovely stack of boxes, the welly boots just tucked in behind. I've used all the elements here, even the snipped off pieces. I've tucked them back in, and our lovely furry friend. But then we can also go to this. So some of it on this, again, we've got, obviously we have our main collection, but obviously we have our little web one as well now. This is using everything together. So it shows you what you can actually do with this. So I've used pieces out of the main collection, but this is our gathering die from the web. We've got little animals all over, and these are our gathering die, which are our lovely florals, and then the gathering of the little cottages. Okay, so that is the layout for that. But again, it's all about these backing papers. So let's move to the backing papers. So bringing these in, look at what we've got here. Again, so easy to start building with. So if I open my little boat, and I'm thinking, so we've got all these sizes. I'm going to put my little boat on the water. How easy is it to start now seeing where we're going to go with this? We can put it where we want, out here, or over the edge as I did, coming off the board if you wanted to. Nothing wrong with that. But look how it sits in the water. You can actually hear it going out, can't you? Then I'll bring in our wharf. So we can have it over here and our wharf on this side. It's entirely up to you. You can have it a little bit broken and a little bit lopsided. So again, think about your positioning of your pieces. If you're finding on some of the elements that it's disappearing a little bit, this is one of the fabulous why we have. Now, often we give you that background die, don't we? So you've got a matte layer. But this is one of the reasons that it's fabulous to have these. Because if I've done my background layer like that, it doesn't disappear into my colourway. I can still see it. So that's a really super top tip for you. Cut out your matte layers as well. So if you've got a really busy background, it then separates it and you can see more of what's happening in the front. Let's have our super little furry friend. Oh, got several of him. We can bring him in. So we've got the dock side or the wharf. He's sat on the wharf. We've got our little, oops, pop that on there. So all of these elements, it's so much fun to be able to build up something like this. So that's sat on there. That might have been abandoned. We've got the extra pillars that we can start tucking in and building up. We've got our super naughty little seagulls. Let's have the one that's shouting. He can sit up there. He's got something to say about what's happening. I'm going to bring this into this way so I can see what we've got. Our welly boots. Okay. Now, when we look at our elements, on the other side, you can see we've got all these cut layers. And that's when we're able to do this with it. So I'm being quite rough with this. I've bent that. And it's really out of shape now. If I move there, you can see properly out of shape. But the cut lines, it's not broke, it's not gone white lines, it's not cracked. And I can now tuck these in like so. We've got a pair of welly boots that have been left behind. But let's change the scene altogether. And this is where we've then given you A5. So you've not just got this one, which is A4 size, which is fabulous. If working on a big A4 sheet like that scares you a little bit and you think, oh, that's a bit big for a card, we've given you the alternatives. And when we give you the A5, we put 2 on there for you. So there's no waste, okay? We've not put the A5 right in the middle. We've split it down and given you the 2. So let's go to another little town. What about this one? Wonderful. So off the side down here, we can have that walkway. That's coming down there. We can have our lovely little friend, because he's not bothered about how rickety it is. He's sitting on here. Let's have the other posts. Let's build the posts in behind. And another fabulous thing about these posts, you get in different sizes again. So adding to that versatility. So I'm going to tuck that one in right in there behind him. like so. And then you just give it a little bit of shape, pop that one in there. So now I'm opting to work in just this section, okay? And we have those lovely turns. He sits on top of there like that. And then we have his other friend on here. And that, you can imagine that that is a scene that you've seen many times at many different seaside places, wherever it may be. That you've got the post, you've got the turns or the animals sat on there, you've got the little dog that's a little friendly dog that's with somebody, but then we've got all the other elements, okay? So this is a lovely one to cut down maybe and to build on the front of that. So let's move that one out the way. And when we've given it you like this, we've also given it you in 2 A5s, because again, this is a little bit different, but these are fabulous for the gathering die. If you haven't already got that gathering die, pop onto our website, Highlight Crafts, and that's where you're going to find it. And the gathering die gives you all the little animals, the welly boots and everything in a different size for you to be able to work with. Then you can work with these smaller images, again, giving you the creativity and versatility for yourselves to work with your projects. Now, I love this one. So pop that back down there. And I'm going to bring in the Wharf, but let's start doing a little bit of cutting. Now, this is how I do my decoupage. It is no hard, fast rule for anybody. You can do your decoupage however you like. But for me, personally, I work in layers of 3. I always have a solid one in the background. So I've always got one that's the full image. Yeah, so that's my full image. Then the next one, I look at what I have here and what's in the background. What do I need to get rid of? Because when we're building decoupage, we work with what is the nearest, okay? So that's then going to be your smallest element that's left, is the nearest piece to you. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, I don't actually need that because all of this is at the front facing me. So that's where I'm going to start snipping. And also a top tip for you, when we have a die, it curves over the edge and you don't see a white line. So if you snip at 45 degrees like that towards what you're doing, you also eliminate getting a white line. Like so. If you cut it on that angle, it's almost giving you as if the die has folded over that edge of the cardstock. Okay, so we've got rid of that piece. I'm going to have another little look because there's probably more there that I can get rid of. So he is at the back and let's get rid of that. That's an easy one. So that's piece number 2. And then to finish it off, whoops, we want number 3. Now for me, looking at that image, this piece at the front here, that's the very closest one to me that I'm going to be able to see. So I can cut all of this out and just be left with this, or even just around there. When you start snipping, when you're doing decoupage, you get to a certain point and you think, oh, hang on a minute, I'm going to get rid of that bit, but keep that bit. You will change your mind while you're going through this, because you will see elements that you think, hang on a second, I need to get rid of that piece. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here around the tyres. And if you wanted to, if you were a really steady hand, you could even snip into here and take elements out again. So I'm just going to work my way around. I'm not bothered that there's a bit of rope there. I'm going to snip over the top of it. Okay. Now, moving him to one side. They're my 3 layers. So I've got a solid one, whole one should I say, one where I've taken some of the background out, and then my final one. And this is where I do love my 3D glue gel. A little bit of curving in the cardstock, just breaking a few of those fibres. Like so. And I know this is okay because I've not long since used it. That's my first layer, or second layer should I say. So that's my first piece I cut. And it's just like a jigsaw puzzle. You're laying over the top exactly where the bottom one is. And then again, this one. That sits beautifully on top of there, like so. Okay, so that's the first one. Then I'm going to bring in some of my other pieces. I love this little life buoy. So I'm going to shape this and drape that over the top. But I've actually got a piece in the middle. If you remember, we've cut into this. So rather than use extra glue, I'm going to capture that between those two glue pieces. And when you're lining it up, if you just put your fingers against, you can feel where the die cuts actually come and meet. So that's that piece. Now, I want my trusty friend in this. And again, I like my 3 layers. So I'm going to have a look at him. So I'm having my whole layer because he's just adorable. I'm just going to take off. And did you see how it jumped quite a lot, the scissors then? Because we've got a pip in between these, so that helps with where we snip away. Shape him again. Now what I'm making is a little topper, but this could be a standalone topper in an aperture or on an oval on the front of a card. So you could cut into your background papers and just have a piece of this with a shaped piece. They don't have to be square and rectangle like the papers are. Use all of your shapes. So on the second layer, we cut that away. So we're going to cut that way again because we don't want that bit. And then we're going to cut in here. But if we just, all I'm doing is I'm snipping and I'm finding the next pip. I'm letting the scissors go to the next piece it wants to cut to. Just moving and I'm cutting. I'm moving my actual cardstock, not my scissors. Okay, so just around there and up to his paw and snip that away. So now on this piece of decoupage, the closest thing to us is going to be the front, isn't it? It's going to be his little paws and his little head. So now going dip, dip, dip. Got some tweezers somewhere to keep my fingers out of the way. Pop that on there. Look at him. It just really brings him to life doing the decoupage because it adds in those lovely elements of shadow. Okay, so I did bring my tweezers. Let me pick him up. Look at that. But it really does bring him to life. Isn't he fabulous? Now we're going to add him, her. It reminds me very much of a Labradoodle-esque, maybe, if you all know your dog breeds. Now this is where it's like, oh, where do I put him? And remember, we're making a little topper. I've only put a little bit of glue at the bottom because I kind of want him to sit there. I'm not gluing anywhere else until he actually goes onto something that I'm putting him onto. So remember, we're building just this little topper, okay? Then we've got our naughty little seagulls, but my favourite, I love this. I love Pete. Pete's incredible. Look at Pete. So again, I've got 3 layers. I love all of this. And now he will work where, you know, he's just a little friend. So where are those posts? And you will find doing this. And I love cutting everything and having it ready. Now remember, we've actually cut into this, so we can put a different post on here. So lift that one up. And this is the advantage of using the 3D glue gel. That's going to go on there. And I'm going to go with number 2 as well. Again, this is just a little topper we're building. And when we've done this, this can go anywhere we want. It can be the topper of a card, or it can go nest into one of those beautiful scenes that we've got. So, okay, pop him there like so. Now, I'm going to work with little Pete. Pete the pelican. So we're going to snip away. I'm going to keep one hole, as always. I always work like this. Like I say, isn't written in stone. There's no decoupage police that are going to come along and say, you're not doing that right. It's entirely up to you. It's just how I feel that 1 layer is 2 layers might not just be enough, but 3 layers seem to just finish him off correctly when you're doing decoupage. So a little bit of 3D again. That's my first layer. Now he looks beautiful just like that if that's what you wanted, but I'm going to go for his little wing. And again, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to let the scissors, as I'm moving it, find all the little pips. And it'll jump from one little pip to the next. And snip that off. He's not going anywhere. I'm going to keep him. Because if need be, I can tuck him out the way. He is not wasted. We can still use him. Okay, so he's going back into the little bits box. And then that is the wing. And when I'm putting the wing on, I'm going to push it down at the back. So all of the movement is to the front, okay? So this is lifted up. It's not flat. He is lifted up, okay? His head is raised. So that way, by having these tiers, our feet are to the back. They would be furthest away. Then we have our extra layers like so, okay? Now he's going to sit on here, okay? But I'm going to do wet glue for this. So again, reaching for my pin flare. I hope this one's not blocked. No, it doesn't seem to be. I was only using them moments ago, so I'm hoping. Pop a little bit of glue on there. Now again, I like to use my tweezers when I'm doing something like this because it keeps my fingers out of the way and it allows me to see my placement really clearly, where all these little characters are going. Now a little Pete is going to sit on here. Now I've only glued his feet for now until we pick which aperture or which little scene is going to sit in, okay? So isn't that lovely? We can go back in now. Now one of the things that we've got is this, and I just want to show you how fabulous this is to snip into. So we've got these layers, so we've got these lovely stacking boxes. First of all, I'm going to snip into there and take that off. That can tuck in anywhere and be used again, okay? Then we've got our two boxes, so that is fabulous. Snipping that off, we can use that again. And then let's do it again, okay? So now, looking at that, I've broke that down into 3 elements I can use. Let me just take that edge off of that one and that edge off of that one. So this is getting more out of this die. So we started off with a whole one, and now we've got 3 elements. Now those 3 elements are either decoupage elements or pieces we can use to tuck in, fill out that image that we're making. So first of all, I want a whole one, okay? And that's going to sit tucked in behind our lovely little dog. Again, joys of working with the glue gel. It doesn't set straight away. It gives us lots of time to play and manoeuvre. Like so, that is on there. It doesn't matter that it's over the edge, because depending on where we're going to put it, I might put something else to the side of it. Okay, so I'm happy with that. We're building up this topper, remember? So we might actually sit this somewhere where that is on something else. Right, we've got these other pieces. Lovely little crate. Again, tuck that in there. Okay, so that crate is a little bit broken, a little bit discarded. Not sure what this is. I'm going to say it's like a lobster pot, or, oh, it's a buoy, isn't it? That they drop in the water so you can see where things are. Of course it is. Now, we've taken it off, but it's, you know, stuck in there now. So we're creating this lovely, I can't draw or paint for toffee. Now, I know a lot of you will have heard that saying before. I don't know if it's a Derbyshire saying, but I really cannot draw or paint for toffee. But this is easy because we give you all of the reflections. So I'm just telling a story. I'm painting that picture, but I'm painting it with my reflections instead of colours and crayons and things. I've already got the artwork, so now I'm painting without having to think about it. So that's how I feel when I'm doing the boards for everything that we do, is that I'm just painting with the images that I've got. What you know, if I could, where would I place these things? And that's all about just having a little play. Now that is on its edge. Again, these have fallen over. So rickety old Wharf, like so. Now we've got to choose, where is he going to sit? What's he going to go in? Are we going to have the boat in the background? Because we absolutely can. Okay, this is our compilation that we're doing. This is our topper. There is nothing now stopping us sliding all of that in there like so. And that boat is just chugging out to water like so. Again, isn't it fabulous? But this could also be a standalone card. We could then cut it out, make a topper for it, a backer for it, and stand it up. So there's so many different ways of using all of these that we have with Two Red Robins. So I am actually going to bring this one back in because I think this is fabulous. It'll work really well with this. So now the story behind that I'm thinking is that's going to come in here. Was an old rickety piece. We don't have to use all of it, remember. We can be really fussy about the pieces that we're picking up. Or we can go right up here. But again, when we're cutting the backing papers down, we have got water on here. Could have it here like this and chop all of that away. Yeah, can you see? Once I've chopped all that down, that's beautiful. That sits lovely in that water. So again, so this is where we're going to go with this. I'm going to bring it a little bit further down. I know we've got a beautiful village in the background, but this could then go into one of those lovely box frames. So now I know where that is going to sit. You would take a little bit more time over this and let this dry a little bit more than I am. So the tricky thing is flipping it back over without losing anything. Oh, it doesn't matter because we can put it back. That is going to sit there. Let's put our little dog back where he was, like so. Post back, there we go. That's the beauty of this glue gel, it's fabulous. Stand him back up. There we go. So we have this lovely little friend, and he is sitting, waiting on the wharf side. And his little pelican friend has come along to have a little chat. But now we can add in these naughty little seagulls. So we've got 3 of these. 3 of our lovely friends. He's fabulous, and so is he. Now, just adding these in, again, a little bit of shape. Can you imagine all those stories that you can be telling about all those naughty little seagulls that we've had in the past? Because they are cheeky little animals, aren't they? And I know they are, but they do get a bad reputation. It's not their fault that they're like that. You know, we do complain about them, but they are very funny animals. Very clever birds as well. Because when they learn something, this is an actual fact, true fact. When they learn something, they pass it on to their babies. So if they learn, you know, a certain, you know, to go to a certain place, they actually pass it on to their young. If they know a particular door opens at a certain time, they teach them. So they're very clever animals. And then we've got to use, he is just adorable. I love these little terns. And we've got, what have we got animal-wise in this collection? We've got our lovely pelican. We've got our super funny characters of our little seagulls. 2 of these terns. So we've got him and him. So we've got 2 variations of him. And we've got our super little friend. Now, I'm now looking where I can build this up. So I'm now adding to my story. And that post goes one way. So I'm going to bring in, and again, the sizes really do make a difference. Let's add these other pieces in. And remember, when you're making with all of the dies and things, and you're doing a story, how fabulous. When I saw this, I thought, wow, I just love this. I like to do journaling and scrapbooking and things. This is a super scrapbooking collection because those holiday, you know, when you go on holiday, you've got all those holiday pictures. We have all absolutely got that funny one where the seagulls come in and photo bombed what you're doing, or you can see one in the background or something, you know, all these characters are already there that's on our cameras maybe. So we're just telling their story, aren't we? How naughty they were on that particular day. Now I'm going to tuck these in. And it doesn't really matter. So we've got it here. So it's got a wobbly line. So it could actually sit, which is fabulous, to the bottom of the water. But for these, I'm going to build them up like so. And then this one. Again, overlapping. No rhyme or reason. I'm not particularly really thinking too much about this. So now this is a proper gathering that's going on. And we're going to have one of the turns. I like him. He's my favourite. And I'm not going to decoupage him, but I am going to put him on with glue gel. And he's going to sit on here. So look at this. There's a story. There's something happening here, isn't there? You can really tell, oh yeah, what's going on? What's all this about? You can hear the story. You can hear them all telling you different things. Maybe they've told a joke and he's laughing at the joke. Let me just turn that around and tidy some of it up. There we go. Move some of this out of the way so you can get a good look at what we've got. So the story that we've made, again, using that scene. Use the scene to your, your strengths. Get the most out of these. But as I actually started building it as a topper, so that could go onto anything. Don't just use the scenes as they are. Cut them into your shapes, have circles, make apertures and make them that they're in the background. And then if you did an aperture card, so you've got a circle, your scene is in the background, you could have your boat coming out of the aperture and all of this topper is then built on the front of it. So it's such a fabulous, fabulous collection. Scrapbooking and everything else that you're going to be able to go with all of this is wonderful. So there we have a lovely scene built up of all these fabulous characters, and I've managed to get as much as I possibly can in on here, other than maybe the wharf. In fact, let's put the boat in because I can. And it's because we've got little ones. Okay, so this lovely boat, I'm just going to shape it a little bit. And again, snippability on this for me. I would first of all take the top of the cabin off, like there. So snip that out round there. And then snip into these lines as well. So there's a lot, again, that you can actually do with this. This is our lovely fishing boat on the water, so we can see boats in the background. We can see the rest of the wharf, so there's lots going on behind. So manipulate that scene and pop that in there, lift him up so it's just behind. And then because he needs extra to seat him back down on there. So look at that. So we've managed to even get the fishing boat in there as well. Aren't they wonderful? So that is our lovely new 2 red robins. Fisherman's Wharf, isn't he lovely? So just think about all of that we've done there. The decoupage layers, how to snip into everything, building up a topper all on its own, and then using the versatility of using those backing papers that we've got going on. Just think of all those villages and everything that you've already been to and visited. It's super, super easy because we've done all the hard work for you. So I hope you enjoy the collection that you've got. Please look at the web collection to add in there as well. Remember, you've got that lovely gathering collection. So you're going to get little dogs as well. You've got 2 different sizes on there. All the lovely variations of the animals and the versatility that is going to give you. And then those lovely florals, the beautiful cottages. This collection, it really does. Wow, I love it. So hope you enjoyed that. Lots of inspiration for you. Come again and join us soon on the next education that we bring out to you. Everything that you need that you've seen in this is all on our website, highlightcrafts.com. So come along and join us next time. See you soon. Bye.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button. Subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video or click here to see more videos like this one.